About at the age of 37, 2016, I was living a nice, blissful life, nicely married with my children, and then something happened, a tragedy happens, which led to me having to start over at the age of 39. By the time I had been a full-time pastor for 13 years, being out of the corporate world, and had applied for over 120 different jobs, many different interviews. You'd think that a black man with my twang had a chance of getting a job, but that never happened. It never happened. And I found myself literally having to figure out, what do I do at 39? And I had 3 kids, so I was a single father. My daughter has special needs, and I had no job at 39. And so I found myself having to reinvent myself. So I'm going to be sharing quite a lot of the skills, a lot of the practical tools that I did at that time to get myself to a position where today I have the kind of CV that we're talking about, where I get to travel to the US. In South Africa, one of the key things that we need to understand is that we are a country that suffers from chronic self-victimization. We suffer from victim mindset because of our history, whether it's white guys thinking, I can't get a job because I'm white, black guys thinking, well, I can't get a job because I'm black, Indians thinking, well, I don't need a job because I can get my own business. Or these days, colored guys are blaming black people for not getting jobs. I mean, there's like we are constantly bombarded with victimization mindsets. And what are mindsets? Mindsets are structured categories of thinking that lead to an outcome, whether you are aware of it or not. Your brain, our brain, mine and yours, are built with categories of thinking, populated with the way of thinking. And that constantly ends up in outcomes. And if you don't understand what populates each category of thinking in your thoughts, you're going to be a victim of your own life. Do you know guys who are victim of their own thinking? Are you one of them? Hopefully not. So I'm going to play this video up next. I want you to just sit back and let's think about it, and then we'll take it from there. If the rate of change that is happening externally exceeds the one that is happening inside, the end is nigh for you and for myself. When you watch a video like this, what comes to mind? Does anybody quickly want to share? Just one sentence. Wow. Huh? Wow. Okay. What's one word? Why wow? Wow what? I said a sentence. Okay, yes, the back there.
Now, those are the things that we know already, but what about the things that are still to come?
Exactly. Those are the things that we know already. What are the things that are to come? I love that. Yes, sir. Adapt or die. See, the future belongs to those who are able to make a marriage between the past and the future, but be able to live that into the present. If you're able to interpret the past for the goals that you want to achieve in the future and be able to live that out in the present, there are crucial questions that you've got to ask yourself if you're going to succeed in life. One of those is, what is the one thing that I'm not doing today that I'm supposed to do that is well within my power that will help me tomorrow? What is the one thing that I'm supposed to be doing today that I'm not doing? Or what is the one thing that I'm doing today that I'm not supposed to be doing that is going to jeopardize my tomorrow? Here's another one for you. Is your future self going to say thank you for taking those decisions, or is it going to look at you like, what the hell were you thinking? Right? Your bank account says, what were you doing? Your kids saying, Daddy, what were you doing if you can't even afford McDonald's? Questions are crucial. And if you're asking the right questions premised on your goals, you'll get the right answers. The right answers will give us the right decisions. The right decisions will give us the right outcomes. The right outcomes will determine the life that we build for ourselves. It sounds simple. And simple things are not necessarily always easy. Right? Peter Drucker said the only way to predict the future is to create it. The question is today, what kind of future are you creating? And here's another question. In building your future, Are you sure that you have the right knowledge, the right information? Are you sure that you're telling yourself the truth, that you are being transparent? I had to ask myself these questions the day that I received notification to go come and pick up my kids because they've been kicked out of school. Because this is one other thing that happened. Unfortunately, I didn't follow up on the will that was submitted to the advisor. And so when my first wife passed away, we died. It was interstate succession. At the master's court, there's about 24 months delay. So for almost 24 months, there was no income coming into my family. And I had to ask myself, what is it that I did not do in the past that I'm having to answer for today? So that's the question that we'll ask yourself, salespeople. What are you not doing every day that you know you're supposed to do? That you're going to have to answer for in 30 days. The thing about adaptation is this. If you are in the space of sales, you need to know what the trends are. Globally right now, everybody's into personalization, especially post-COVID. Who has noted that clients are a bit more informed than they were before COVID? Have you noticed that? All right. Have you noticed that some clients even know a bit more about some of the services, your products, more than you do? If that happens, you are in trouble because you won't close that sale. So clients are into personalization. They want to have that personal concierge service. So you can't just be generic. The second part is that sustainability. We're not going to talk about that because it's not really so applicable to us. But augmented reality. Augmented reality is that literally these days you are able to buy those goggles, and those goggles can take you into a store in your own home, and you can be able to buy from the shelf because it has some kind of simulated reality of what the store looks like. That's what's happening. When I used to go to the States, I started going to the USA about 2012. The first year I went, there were maybe 2 or 3 at most self-checkout counters where you can just use your trolley and click everything and get out without having to be assisted by a cashier. When I went last year, there are even 100% stores where there's literally nobody. In fact, even as you're walking down the aisle, there is this massive machine moving around, and you check it out, you realize it's a vacuum cleaner / mop, self-propelled, which has motion sensor, and is cleaning the store. So there even are no cleaners in the store. So things are happening at a very fast rate. Convenience, social commerce, voice commerce, artificial intelligence. Now, for this particular presentation, I actually decided to generate some of the images using AI. Normally when I prepare for a presentation, it would take me quite a while trying to find the right kind of images for my slides. But these days, all you have to do is to go on an AI platform, tell it exactly what you want. If I wanted to say, I want you to create an image of a black guy, bald, with horns, looking confused, with a goatee, it will create it for me. I've done some really crazy images just to test it out to see how it went. 3 months ago, the images looked a bit funky, but today the images look crisp, and we'll see some of them. Metaverse is a whole other trend that you can look at, but because of time, I'm not going to go into that. Let's look at it. Why should we stay up with the trends as a part of our adaptation? You identify new opportunities, you're going to improve on your products and services, optimize your marketing campaigns, and stay ahead of the competition. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean that your competition doesn't know. And the fact of the matter is that if you are in a competitive space, there are those people, the 5%, the 10% that are every day figuring out how else to stay ahead. It's not enough that you just do the bare minimum anymore. Above average knowledge is required. Above average activity is required. Above average skills are required, whether it be people skills, whether it be communication skills. In my space of professional speaking, it's highly competitive. If I don't improve on my skills, somebody else is occupying this stage and not me. So you gotta always think about all of that. Market research, when you stay up to trends. Social media analysis. Right now, social media influencers have bigger platforms than even your traditional media. They actually are taking a lot of advertising money from traditional media. There's even a whole massive talk about whether or not traditional media is necessary anymore, because a social influencer can gather 100,000, 1 million, 5 million followers and actually get far more traction and a far more personable interaction with clients than the actual institutions themselves. Things are changing. In the business right now, in Sanlam, have we looked at, is there anybody that is some kind of a social connector with your potential clients? Do you have someone like that? Because that's what's happening. Because the companies that are going to that space are going to use those people to take away your leads from you. Because social media does three important things. It connects with the people from where they sit, and the people have some kind of a social relatability with whoever it is that is influencing them. And if you've been paying attention, you'd notice what happened with Adidas, what's his name again? Kanye West. And he left, Adidas lost billions and billions of dollars. He came back, their sales went up again. South Africa, we have Somizi with Batu. His brand alone is the one that is the best performing in the Batu selection of products. So social media is happening. Customer surveys, and then of course expert analysis, who are futurists. These are the people whose business it is to figure out what's happening in the future and tell companies what they need to do to prepare as far as products, as far as skills. Do you know that in terms of the predictions, AI is predicted to wipe out 800 million jobs by 2030? Did you know that? Did you know that only jobs that have more social intelligence, more personable interaction, that require more authenticity are the ones that are surviving AI? But anything that is more predominantly automated, AI is going to be probably taking, they say that almost all of those jobs by 2025. But there are other jobs that have been created because of AI. One of them is that prompting, which is the ability to communicate with an AI platform. In this, I'm going to close off with these three thoughts. In this day and age, with the advent of AI, there are three AIs that you're going to develop as part of your upward mindset. The first one is adaptability intelligence. Adaptability intelligence, which is the ability to not only use your skills, but your knowledge, your resources, to align with your own goals, matching them with the changes that are happening in the environment. Do you know what's happening in your environment, in your space? Do you know the changes that are currently happening? Because if you don't know, they're going to catch up with you. The second one is authenticity intelligence. Authenticity is the most expensive component of who you are. We pay for authenticity more than we pay for anything else. That's why we have people that we follow. That's why we have fans for. Authenticity. And if you have the discipline, if you develop the discipline to develop your authenticity, you'll be highly valuable. And part of that is your own identity. Part of that is your own unique skills. Part of that is your level of genius. Your level of genius is that part of you that you do with ease, without even thinking about it twice. And most of the time, just give it away for free anyway. But it is the one thing that makes you different, unique from everybody else. Do you know what that thing is? Most of the time, people use you for it, and they don't pay you for it. I used to get called to come and speak all the time and not get paid. And then I figured out, I can get paid for this thing because it's my level of genius. What is it for you? Experience is part of it, but what is unique about your experience? What are you doing with that experience to distinguish yourself from everybody else? The third thing is articulation intelligence. It's not about communication only. How do you articulate yourself before people? Do you know that people who articulate themselves well are seen to be 2 to 3 times more intelligent than the next person? Than they get the best job? They get the best jobs? Have you ever experienced that time where this person, man, this guy is not really as great as what they are, but they can sell themselves and they're getting the promotions, but they don't know the work? Has that happened? Are you one of them? But communication is crucial, and your ability to articulate your products, to connect with the environment, to simplify complex things and make them very simple. With your clients, as knowledgeable as they are right now, if you fail to articulate your product well, yourself well, even including the way you present yourself. Do you guys know about 10 by 10 by 10? Have you heard about that? I'll break it down for you quickly. 10 by 10 by 10 means this. At about 10 meters, people are making judgment about my appearance, the way that I am, the way that I look, whether or not I'm worth even introducing. And then the second 10 is at 10 inches, which is about 20 centimeters, people start to become worried about your attitude, your aura, your presence. Have you ever been sitting down like that and then you can sense the presence behind you? Not so much the aura, the smell of the person, but you can sense that somebody's behind you, right? And then the third one is your first 10 words. When you open your mouth, what are the first 10 words that you open your mouth with? Online, do you know how long you have online, if you are a content producer, for example, before somebody swipes and moves on to the next thing? How long? Can I hear 30 seconds? How about 8 seconds? TikTok is 3 seconds. Most other social media platforms is 8 seconds. If you don't grab a person's attention in 8 seconds, you've lost them. We used to have to see an advert 7 times on television before to make a decision. That was about 10 years ago. Today, that number is more closer to 50 times because of how many media platforms there are. So there is basically a fight for your attention, for your client's attention. How are you standing out? How are you articulating your thoughts? How are you adapting as far as your intelligence is concerned? What about your unique intelligence? As a South African black guy who grew up in the Free State speaking Afrikaans and who I've traveled to now 13 different countries, and I have the unique experience of being stuck in the USA during COVID. The day that I landed in the USA in March 11, Donald Trump shut down the country 4 hours later. I was looking to further my studies as a coach, and then I found myself in the USA having absolutely no job. Got a friend of mine who gave me a job underground to go clean houses, to cut grass, you know. So, and I found myself there traveling to 13, 14 different states, some of them very deep into parts of the USA where someone like me is an interesting phenomenon. It was quite interesting for me as a South African right there in the USA, having no papers. And sometimes you go into these woods in the USA where there's literally no network, and all it is just these high buildings, and then these houses are wooden houses and they look like rotten, and you're thinking maybe there's a ghost in there, maybe there's a bear that's gonna come out and get me. I could have died in that place and nobody would have known that I was even there. So, and you learn when you're in those situations that at the end of the day, life is about that. It is about your ability to adapt, to adjust. And this is how you quickly do it. I'm going to go through this because I've already covered some of this content already. But what are some of the attributes of being adaptable? Willingness to learn and to unlearn. All right? Most adults don't like to unlearn because we have been taught that learning is for children. But what is it that you keep on doing that is not yielding the results? You have to unlearn that and learn something different. Ability to cope with changes. Flexibility, we heard it today a lot. Flexibility in decision making. Are you stuck up in the way that you make decisions, or are you able to explore different options? How do we do it? Now we're going to do this together. Let's say it together. What do we do? The first thing. Come on, let's do it. Wake up. Wake up. All right? Wake up. Wake up what? Your body, your mind, your emotions. Are you present whenever you're doing what you're doing? When you're talking to your clients, when you're talking to your people, are you present? What is your aura? What is your influence? What is your impact? Are you distant? Are you detached? Your mind, your mindsets. What are the categories of thinking that you need to develop to be great at what you do, to be exceptional at what you do? When I got to the speaking stage, environment, I didn't know anybody. 2019, I didn't know anything about the industry. I was fresh from being a pastor from the pulpit. I get introduced to it, and I realized, okay, 99% of the people in the world don't do their best. I've known this for a very long time. And I was like, let me see, if I put myself, my focus, my attention, how quickly can I rise even within this very same association? Within 2 years, I was already in the executive committee. On the third year, I'm the vice president of the same association. In our own industry as well, when the people were losing and not being called out by companies, I worked on my company. I worked. The next thing you know, I'm getting invitations all the time. And I was told, but you need to have a book, you need to have a qualification, you need to have this MBA, you need to have all of that. I still don't have any of that, but I'm still getting work. Because I understand that it is not about what you have, it's about what you do with it. It's not about who you know, but it's about how you relate with them. It's not about where you've been, but it's about where you are going. People don't care about your past. I don't care how tragic your past is. I've got a very tragic past. I've got a very traumatic past. There's a point where people get tired of feeling sorry for you. And they want to know, what are you doing with your situation? What are you doing? What have you done? How can we partner with you? You're either going to be feeling sorry for yourself and garner a lot of pity, or you're going to be feeling, you know what, I can do something about it. And then people along the way start to partner up with you. People want to be part of a moving bus. Are you moving? Where are you going? Let's say it together. Armor up. What are you feeding your mind every day? Are you every day feeding yourself things that make you feel weak, feel depressed, feel discouraged, feel anxious? Skill up. What skills are you supposed to be adding right now to your industry, to your career? Go online and say, AI, what skills am I supposed to have for 2025 in this industry? It'll tell you, because it knows where it's going. Toughen up. At some point, once you've cried, we need to go start moving. We can't be crying every day and not doing anything. At some point, we're tired of crying, we need to get going. Use your pain to fuel your success. Let's go. What is it? Rise up. Pick up your armor. Pick up what you've got. Get ready for battle, because there's a war out there. Let me tell you something that you might know. Life is tough. Yes? Okay, I'm going to try this. It's a TikTok thing I've seen. So if I say life is tough, you say, uh-huh. Are you ready? Life is tough. People are looking for easy. Don't be the easy target. Awesome. Don't be the easy target, because you know what? If you are easy, I'm going to come after you. I'm going to get you. Keep up. Let's go. Keep up with the industry developments. Keep up with technology. Keep up with the economy. Keep up with the competition. Everybody who's a high performer knows this. If you don't keep up, somebody is going to be ahead of you. And I've said it before, 99% of the people in the world do not do their best. They don't do their best. They do the bare minimum. Most people lie to themselves 400 times a day. They lie about the things that they've done, that they know they haven't done, that they're going to do, that they know they're never going to do. They'll exaggerate their numbers, salespeople. They'll lie about how many clients they've spoken to, salespeople. And they'll lie about the amount of coaching that they've given to salespeople, that's the managers. Okay. Let's go. Team up. Have the right people on your side. Learn to collaborate. Don't use people as connections. Become a useful tool and a useful source for other people. Be a good sport. Support. Develop yourself and develop others. This is what I did. And in doing what I've done for myself at the age of 39, absolutely everything looking very bleak. The steps that I followed get me to where I am today. Gets me to a point where I can pick up a phone call and I can say, I've got a business networking meeting, and I can call some of the billionaires and they say they'll come. Some of the CEOs in this country, and they'll come because it's me calling. 4 or 5 years ago, I was nowhere. I was on the pulpit, traveling, going to different parts of the world. And today, I am who I am today. And there's nothing special about me, except for my twang. But other than that, honestly, there's nothing exceptional about me. Everything I've said is things that you know. Nothing I've said here is new. But the question is that, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? 10 seconds left. So the first thing is, wake up. Let's say it. Second, armor up. Let's go. Okay, we're not saying it enough. I mean, your weapons sound very weak. Come on. It's weapons now. Let's go. What? Armor up. Yes. Third thing. Rise up, man. Rise up. Fourth thing. Come on. Keep up. And then that's the last thing. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
So much.